Hi everybody, it's Joni Young here. Welcome back to my channel for another painting tutorial in acrylics. Today I'm going to be showing you some fun tricks using finger painting. And I have the following colors and canvas I'm going to be using. Let's start off with a canvas. This is a 10 by 20 inch long panel canvas. And I have the following colors: bright aqua green, ultramarine blue, luminous opera, luminous lemon, and luminous violet. So these you can see are by Holbein, and these are by Liquitex Basics, as well as the titanium white over here. So here are all the colors, and I'm gonna just get my gloves on. So I've got some latex gloves here, but you don't have to have gloves. I mean, it depends on how sensitive your skin is, or, you know, finger painting is obviously really messy. So that's why I'm using the gloves. And what I want to do is I'm going to get right into this. We're going to really have some art therapy today and get creative with our fingers and our hands. So I'm just going to go right in to my blue and my green, and I'm going to go like this. And I'm just going to start just spreading it around on the canvas. I'm going to take some white. Before the paint dries on the canvas, I'm going to take one of my mop brushes. I'm going to take a soft and dry mop brush, and all I'm going to do is just go around and make this blurry, blending the acrylic around. This is going to get rid of those streaks and lines that's left there from all the paint. And look at how pretty, and it just gives it this airbrushed look. It's going to make our abstract flowers stand out and make everything else out of focus. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is take some more white. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow, and I'm going to start making a soft glowing sun. I think it's interesting the way this happened. I'm left with these lines here. It almost looks like little pieces of grass, doesn't it? And I'm just going to tap them on. And I'm going in a motion kind of across right below, and then we're curving up and along the side of the canvas. Now let's take a little bit more of our yellow and white. This time I'm going to get it on the side of my hand here, and I'm going to go and just add it. I'll show it better. Come in from this side. Sorry for any awkward filming. This is the first time I'm doing this. I haven't done this before, so bear with me, but I really wanted you guys to be here for the first time I try this. It makes it more exciting for us all, I think. Let's take a little bit more white and yellow and just add that in the center. And let's take another mop brush, and all I'm going to do is just soften really lightly a little bit up here and a little bit down here. So see how it looks blurry? I love combining harsh, strong lines and dabs of paint in combination with blurriness like this. So you can get some back here, blur it up, a few things out of focus, and then a few other things really in focus. But still abstract. We're not going to be trying to paint anything like a photograph, okay? We can also just very lightly pull, and you're just left with these little brush strokes that look like little pieces of grass. Now before I completely dry the sun off, I'm gonna just take a little bit of this off and then dry it, because I want the sun, you will need to decide if you want your sun to be textured or if you want it to be really soft. And I want mine to be soft with the sun here. I want to come in and add a little bit of a softer glowing sun, and it's much easier to apply this when the blue underpainting is all dry. So now I can take some white, not too much, and just really lightly place it on there. And I'm going to start coming in with a little bit of peach and pink. So I'm going to mix up the yellow. Okay, I've got some here. A little bit more white on there because it's going to dry a little bit darker. And I'm going to just start alternating those little dabs on either side for my little stock flowers. So dab here, then here, kind of stagger them. Push and tap. Let's get a little bit more on there. To give you some idea of how much paint I've got here on my fingers. Not a lot. You need enough to work with, but you don't necessarily need globs and globs of paint. And I'm going to come down here. This is really, really relaxing. This is some wonderful art therapy. Tap a little bit of that in there. Over the pale yellow and green. Okay, I'm going to come in with some bolder shades of pink now. And I'm going to bring them in here. I'm going to put my fingers together like this. I'm going to push and tap. I did this with Q-tips the other day, and I thought, why not use your fingers? If you can do that with your fingers, it's not hard. Just put them together like that. We're going to put some larger flowers up here. Give a beautiful perspective, sense of perspective of being lower down. What I like to do with my painting tutorials and my art is show you that it doesn't have, things don't have to look like a photograph to look nice. It doesn't have to be super realistic. I mean, it's art, right? We can all create, and yes, it's fun to challenge ourselves and work from photographs and try to replicate that and make it look very realistic, but I'm telling you, this is very, very relaxing. carefree. This would be such a fun paint night. I would love to do this with my grandson and my daughter. I'm gonna take my pinky here, dab a little bit of blue, and just get the center of these bigger flowers. And then I'm going to start coming in with my violet and blue, a little bit of white in there. I'm just tapping like this to mix. Coming over top. To make some beautiful delphinium. Fuller on the bottom. Some little ones in the distance there, closer to the sun. Take a lot more of the violet now. I'm going to go back over to my mop brush here. I'm going to start softly blending the bottom area here. And then a little bit on the side. Okay, I'm going to take some turquoise. Add a few little dabs. Okay, so it's fairly dark down here. I'm gonna dry it off. Okay, so it's pretty much all dry except for those really thick areas. What I wanna do is need a little bit more white. I wanna take a little bit of white and yellow, a little bit of pink. I'm gonna go around my sun and give it a little bit more color. Take some white, go inside of that. And I'm going to take my little mop brush, soften, take a little bit of paint. Dab that in the middle. Soften again. dry brush now. Pretty dry, hardly anything in there. And I just picked up a little bit of that blue. Good thing I didn't go back over there with it. So now we're gonna come in and start adding a little bit more of a soft glow here. I'm gonna take mop brush, clean one, with a little bit of peach and white. So my pink, yellow, and white, very soft. Make it a little bit blurry. Just a little bit of yellow and white. Dab, dab, dab. And then soften, leaving some of that texture on that we just dabbed. And now what I'm going to do is take my pinky, take a little bit of white and a little bit of blue, a little bit of violet, and just get a nice soft blue violet shade. And I'm going to dab. And when I dab, it's making like a little, I don't know if you guys can see that, it almost makes like a little ring. And I'm just pushing straight down. I'm gonna go over some of this blurry area here. So this is giving us a little bit more depth to our flowers and some softer tones. Now when we get close to the sun, they're going to be more in silhouette, so we're going to make them thinner, just using just a little narrow end of the glove and using less white, and making them smaller and smaller. Okay, we can come in and add a little curve to them too. If you ever see how foxgloves grow, they can get a little bend towards the end, and they get really tall. So I'm just going to add some more up here. I'll take a little bit more of my pink and white. Get those three fingers together again. Dab a little bit more blue in there. And take some pink, yellow, and white. And we'll add some little peach blossoms here. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit extra white and yellow. Now peach looks really beautiful. Yellows look really beautiful with purple. And then I'm going to blend out, just twisting and rolling my fingers around like this. I know it can seem a little scary. Half of you watching are either, oh, that looks fun, or you're like, oh, I can't do that. That looks too scary. I challenge you guys to do it. You're gonna love it. It's so much fun. Let's take the last little bit of our pink and yellow. A little bit of blue in there. And then some of these come down a little lower than others. There's another color that I'm going to add. I've got some sap green, not a lot. I use this a lot, so just about out of it. I've got a long liner brush. I'm going to take some water. This is from my series of brushes. You can now go ahead and pre-order on Craftimo. This is a 2 rigger liner brush. I'm going to go right in there to my sap green, twist and roll around. And I'm just going to start adding some little pieces of grass in here. Now see, I'm going to pick up some of those thicker colors, thicker paint areas, and I love it when that happens. So we just make more shades, lighter and darker. And then we can mix it up with a little bit of soft yellow. Get a little bit on the end of the brush. That in combination with some of the darker green here. It's really nice. You ever have a hard time with your liner brush? Just dunk it in the water and go back. It usually solves the problem. Let's take a little bit of that white. Add a few stems here. Bit of a bigger dab right under the base. I'm going to push a little bit harder. to make thicker pieces of grass here. Okay, then I'm going to go back to the mop brush, a little bit of pink, a little bit of white, a little bit of peach, whatever we've got left here. And we're going to add some red now. Okay, so I'm going to take some red on the end of my fingers, and I'm going to add red flower there and here, partially over. You're going to have to layer over some of these flowers. You can turn some of these pink flowers into bright red poppies if you want. Okay, then I'm going to take a little bit of blue, mix it up with the red. We're going to get a dark color. On the end of your finger, push and tap. For the center of the flower, add a little bit more if you want it to be darker. I'm going to take the rest of my red. Kind of just got it pinched between my two fingers here. Let's go back to our long rigger brush, sap green. I've hardly got any left. I'm just putting my brush right inside the tube. You can add little pushes and taps for leaves. You could use your finger if you want. For my sunrays, I'm going to be using a small flat brush, a little bit of water. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of water. I'm going to start from the center. I'm going to gently flick up, and then one on either side. And we're just going to keep going from there. Try not to push too hard. Make sure, because some of this is still going to be a little bit wet because the paint is thick. I'm going to go bring one right down in the center there. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit of pink to my white and my yellow with a little bit of water. I'm going to add a little bit more, so we're being a little bit more generous. I'm going to come in the center here and add a little bit of bright white. And then I'm going to take the corner of my brush here, a little bit of blue and white, kind of just mix it a little bit, and then we're going to come in the front where these are going to be in front of the sun rays, so they're going to be in silhouette because we kind of went over those. It's hard not to with the sun rays. Okay, the next brush I'm going to be using is a number 3 round brush. Any small brush that you feel comfortable with using will be fine for this. I'm going to take some pink and some red. Got a little bit of yellow in there, that's okay. A little bit of white. I'm going to add this to the bright red flowers. It's a little there, kind of on the top. I'm going to add a little bit over here as well. Right now the flowers are all looking sort of the same color, so we want to add some lighter areas. So adding a little bit of white in with the orange and the pink will really help to brighten that up. I'm going to take a little bit more of my pink and white. Add some dabs of white, a touch of blue, and some pink. And then a little bit of yellow in with the pink and the white. I'm going to dab this around. Take a mop brush. And create a little bit of mist, dreaminess. So I'll take yellow, pink, and white, dab on some areas here. A little bit more. Pretty thick, because I'm going to use some of it. I'm going to take some of it off with my brush here. So pick some areas to make blurry. It's these little layers that we add in between all the other ones that will really soften and create that beautiful dreamy mood in a painting. Okay, now I'm going to take some blue and white, and I'm going to add little circles, little loops, creating some softer shades of the blue. And I'm going to go right back over to my flat brush with some white, and I'm going to just place it straight up and down. Now that the sun rays are starting to dry, you can see how they're drying a little bit darker, and it's nice because we want those soft colors, the soft tones of peach and yellow. But I also really want a nice bright white as well in the center. So I'm going to take a little bit of orange and blue, and together that'll give us sort of a deep muted purple shade, because this is a cool orange. It's such a gorgeous shade of orange. It won't make brown, but I'm just going to add a little bit. Let me just take a little bit more. Now it's starting. The more orange you add, the more it will warm up and look a little bit brown, but I'm just going to add a little bit of this for some shadows underneath. See how that changes it quite a bit already? And then we're just gonna take a little bit of that off. So you'll just want a little towel to have to get the excess paint off. This will give you that luminous look to your petals. A little shadow, but still look transparent. This painting's all done. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this and picked up some great tips. Have fun painting your own, and I'll see you all very soon in the next video. Bye!